What is going on, everybody? This is episode number 285 of the First and Frame Rate Show. I am VF Baller. Over here, we talk about Georgia Southern and Atlanta Falcons football. Not much going on the Atlanta Falcons side of things, but a lot going on in the Georgia Southern side, where we have 4 new teams that are going to be joining the SunBelt Conference. And we're going to talk about those 4 teams and give you a little bit of background. I'm going to touch on each one and give you my thoughts and opinions on each team. So right now, the Super Bowl has not started yet. I'm kind of dating this episode, so I'm just doing it before the Super Bowl because obviously I'm going to watch the Super Bowl. I got the Rams winning by probably like 10 or 17 points. But before then, I want to get this episode out of the way so it'll be up and ready for you guys on Monday. As far as the Falcons go, there's nothing to talk about with the Falcons right now. So like I said, the Super Bowl is going on. My team is not theirs, but we're going to talk about Georgia Southern. What does this mean for them and these 4 teams that are going to be joining the conference? If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're here on the YouTube side of things, you already see the 4 teams that are on the screen: Old Dominion, James Madison, Marshall, and Southern Miss. I thank you guys for taking the time out your morning or your day to listen. If you haven't already, hit the like button, share this video, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I really would appreciate that. Also, if you're listening to this on the podcast side of things, iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Anchor, Stitcher, wherever your avenue of listening to podcasts, give me a high star rating on that star chart. Also, subscribe to the channel or to the podcast, because when you subscribe to the podcast, it'll automatically upload for you to let you know that the podcast is available. And I think on most of these platforms, if you hit auto download, the podcast will download for you immediately, so you can just go ahead and hit that button and listen to the episodes whenever at your leisure. So that's pretty awesome how technology works for the most part. Also, last but not least, if you want to donate, if you've been listening to the content you think is worth your while, if you don't mind, you want to consider, you can donate to any of the links that I have down in the description, the Anchor link or my Cash App link, which is VFBaller20. All that will be down in the description on all platforms, so you can go check all that out. Now, let's go ahead and get this up and running. 4 teams going to be moving to the Sun Belt. They terminated their contracts with the Conference USA, and they're going to be moving over to the Sun Belt sooner rather than later. I think at the beginning of the following season coming up. So we're going to have Old Dominion, James Madison, Marshall, and Southern Miss. Right now, this conference has gotten a lot better, especially in the East, because I think Southern Miss is moving over to the West. I want to think. I don't even know. I know the alignment is out there. I didn't pay attention to it, but nevertheless, let's talk about these teams. I want to start off with Old Dominion. We have history with Old Dominion back in the FCS days. You go back to the 2011 and 2012 days when they were competing in the FCS playoffs. They advanced to the second round, but they came down to Paulson Stadium, and we beat them 55-48. So we have history with them. I can't wait to play this team again, because that was that I just want to see that renewed, and that is just awesome to see. Now, coming off in 2012, they come right back into the playoffs again, and they lost to us again in the quarterfinals, 49-35. What a great comeback we had. We outscored them 28-0 in the fourth quarter. I remember watching that game. A lot of people call it the Taylor Heineke game. If you don't know who Taylor Heineke is, he's a quarterback now. I think he plays for the Washington Commanders. But nevertheless, that was one of the greatest games that I've seen that Georgia Southern played. Between that, watching Georgia Southern play in the Florida game and the Camellia Bowl, those probably like my top 3 that I do remember watching. You can interchange some other games because I've watched in my history. But nevertheless, these guys are prominent. They move over to the FBS in the 2012 season. I think it was around the same. I think it was like right before Georgia Southern came to the FBS as well. They went over. I think they started off as an independent team, and then they end up moving to the Conference USA after a year or so. And throughout that season, they let me see. I think they beat Virginia Tech in 2018. I think that was one of their. I think it was their one or only Power Five team that they beat. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm just looking at it off the screen here. But they did beat Virginia Tech 49-35. But that just goes to show you these FBS teams or the FCS teams, they are good. Some of these teams are very good in the FCS, and some of them can compete and do very well when it goes up against certain Power 5 teams. This is one of the reasons why I think North Dakota State, which I don't think they ever will, I'll be highly surprised if they do so. I think they need to go ahead and move up to the FBS, but that's a whole nother story for another day. I don't want to talk about them. But when you look at this team, they've done very well for themselves overall when it comes to when it comes to just making a name for themselves once they move from the FCS to the FBS. And a lot of this is going to be really showing once they play in the Sun Belt, which is probably, like I said, the most, I got it in the title, the powerful group of 5. That's just what it is. They were already powerful before these 4 teams come in, but now they are, showing off, how powerful they really can be. So Old Dominion, even though we have history with them, we end up beating them in the playoffs twice. We will get to see them at least once a year, which is phenomenal. We'd love to see to play these teams. I can't wait till they come down to Paulson Stadium just to renew those that somewhat of a rivalry that we have, even though we played them in the playoffs. Not much of one, but maybe we can create a small one between them. The next team I want to talk about is James Madison. Now, James Madison is very accomplished, just about as accomplished as Georgia Southern. Not only just in the football rankings, that basketball team is pretty good too. So that bodes very well for the Sun Belt, because bringing a team like this into the conference with football and basketball aspirations, and we do have somewhat of connection with them because our former basketball coach is at James Madison now, and they're doing pretty good over there. Not so much for our men's basketball team, but like I said, that's another episode as well that we could talk about at another time. But with that being said, they're going to be jumping over to the Sun Belt as well. Football team is pretty good. You look at their football team, their all-time record is 351-220. They have a pretty good playoff record as well. 2 national titles. They won one in 2004 and 2016. Plethora of conference titles and division titles as well. I don't think we ever faced this team as Georgia Southern. I don't think we ever faced this team when it comes to football or whatever the case may be. But I cannot wait to see what we can do against them, with them being very prominent into the FCS the FCS rankings. They look like they've done pretty good for themselves. One of the biggest games that they won, I think I want to say they also beat Virginia Tech. I mean, what's up with Virginia Tech getting smacked around? I don't know what's going on here. I want to make sure if I get that right. I want to look it up and see. But I think they did end up beating Virginia Tech a while back. Correct me if I'm wrong, if I don't get that right. But they beat Virginia Tech as an FCS team as well as Old Dominion. So hey, look, this is another team that I can't wait to see play in the Sun Belt. FCS championship caliber team that is going to be another move over to the Sun Belt, play against Georgia Southern. Can't wait to see them play us at Paulson Stadium. And I noticed that they have a pretty good, they have a phenomenal football stadium too. That may be a traveling game that I may go to. I may have to travel just to see how immaculate that their stadium is, because I looked at some pictures. Their stadium is really nice. I want to really, look and see about going to one of those games sometime down the road. So that's going to be pretty cool. The next team I want to talk about is Marshall. Now, Marshall, we all know about this team. Always been a very good, I'll say somewhat a household name in the world of college football. They always had, somewhat of a, they had somewhat of a name throughout, college football. Come to, Randy Moss come to mind. I think it was Chad Pennington also played there as well. So you had some you had some prominent players come through there as well. National championships. They had a couple of 1AA national championships back in 1992. Also in 96, they played against Youngstown State and Montana. A couple of teams that Georgia Southern knows about a little bit as well. As far as us playing them, I don't remember. I could be wrong. I don't remember Georgia Southern playing them too much as well. So maybe they have. I just don't remember seeing them doing anything. So within the FCS world, they have 2 national titles, done pretty well for themselves as far as as a team, over 500 record when it comes to winning and losing overall. And they're going to leave the Conference USA for the SunBelt. With that being said, what I was going to say, I just lost train of thought real quick. With that being said, the conference championships, they have plenty of those as well. Division titles, they won some titles in the MAC, where it comes from 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, 2002. Well, sorry, they lost in 2001 to Toledo, and they lost in 2013 and 2020. Well, those are Conference USA titles. So in 2000, from 97 to 2002, they won all the MAC the MAC conference divisions except for one. But as far as conference, let's see. Oh, let's double back. I'll take that back. They won 97, 98, 99, and 2000. Missed one in 2001 and 2002. So it's pretty much the same thing I said about a division. Every time they won a division during that time, they did win the conference championship. Won the conference championship in 2014 for the Conference USA. Bowl games, they lost their last 3 bowl games, which kind of, kind of sucks for them. But they did lose to Louisiana, so welcome to the Sun Belt. They lost the Camellia Bowl to Buffalo. I want to say a particular quarterback played in that game. Let's find out real quick. Let's find out real quick. I think a particular quarterback played in that game. I don't want to be 100% sure. Yeah, I think our quarterback Kyle Van Treese played in that bowl, and they won that game. Pretty interesting. 17-10. We beat Cal Van Treese beat Marshall. So that looks pretty cool. So overall, very prominent, team once again, have some pretty good name recognition, and that's going to be really cool to see them make it over here as well. Last but not least, we got Southern Miss. Don't know too much about this team as well as far as football, but they do have a winning record, 577 and 410 overall as their football as far as their football record. Bowl record 11 and 12, so they're nearly 500. 2 national titles. There were Division II national titles in 58 and 1962. 8 conference titles, 3 division titles. So with that being said, Todd Monken was their coach from 2013 to 2015, which is very interesting. As far as national championships, like I said, 58 and 62. Conference championships, they did win. Well, look at this here. I did not know this. They won the conference championship in 2011. Went 12 and 2. Also, they were the division champs under Todd Monken. They were division champs under Todd Monken in 2015. Not much success since that time. Brett Favre did play for. I just see that there. Brett Favre did play for the Golden Eagles. Now, one thing I will say about this team. A couple things I don't like about this team, to be honest with you. First and foremost, they're the Eagles as well, so I don't like that. They're wearing Appalachian State colors, which I don't like as well. And they have an Eagle Walk, which is a tradition every time before they play a game. So let's read about it. Eagle Walk. It's found underneath the upper deck of the M&M Roberts Stadium, which is their stadium. 2 hours prior to football game day, a cannon is fired begins the procession. The pride of Mississippi marching band and football players make a march through the streets cheering to the cheers of thousands of fans. Every fall, the incoming freshmen give the walls and the street a fresh coat of paint as they're done for half a century. So they have an Eagle Walk similar to what we have. I want this to be a rivalry like immediately. First of all, you could took our name. I ain't gonna say took our name. You share our name. Second of all, you have Appalachian State colors, which is gross. And you guys have an Eagle Walk. Yeah, let's go ahead and smack these guys in the mouth our first game that we play against them. But, it's all in good fun. But, that's pretty cool to see. They're going to be joining the Sun Belt as well. It's going to be really interesting what they can do when it comes to actually building up their program, because when you come to the Sun Belt, the level of competition is going to jump. And when the level of competition jumps, you're going to be, you're going to want to make yourselves as prominent as that competition as well. So, I don't like these guys already. They do have Adidas attire as well. So there's a lot of interlacing situations between us and the Golden Eagles of Southern Miss down to Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I also see that they have a pretty decent stadium as well, so I want to see what they're going to be able to do. They did win a bowl back in 2016. After that, they didn't have much success since then, but they do have a pretty decent bowl record overall. Like I said, 11-13, 11-12, whatever you want to call it. Winning 11 bowl games is nothing to sneeze at. That's pretty cool. So before I close, I want to talk about this. What does this mean for Georgia Southern? With the Herd, Old Dominion, and the Dukes of James Madison joining the East, Georgia Southern better be on their game. Coach Helton, I know he's watching, these teams move to the Sun Belt. We're going to have a pretty tough schedule every year. We already have to deal with the Appalachian States of the world. We also already have to deal with the Chanticleers of those guys in Conway, South Carolina, Coastal Carolina. Georgia State is always going to be up to play us, even though we try to look down on them. We need to start taking them seriously. We need to start taking all of these teams seriously, to be quite honest. So with that being said, we need to make some moves, which we did already, but we need to make some moves on the field to be just as competitive as the rest of these teams, because I'm not taking none of these teams lightly. Old Dominion already feel like they're gonna be out to get us from what we did to them in the FCS. James Madison already have a chip on his shoulder, as well as Marshall. In Southern Miss, even though they're going to be in the West, the times that we do play them, they're going to give us a run for our money as well, because they're going to feel that they're the only Eagles that's supposed to be in the SunBelt Conference. So this is going to be fun. SunBelt is the fun belt. SunBelt is the most powerful Group of 5 conference, and it's not even close. The rest of these Group of 5 conferences can sit and watch how we do it. We're going to be... I think we're going to be just as good as some of these other conferences out here. Power 5. Like right now, I think our conference is looking just as good as the ACC. The ACC don't even look that good anymore. ACC look like they're struggling right now. You know what I mean? So, do we need to talk about Conference USA? What's left of them? The Big 12, they're not going to be looking too good in a minute either, because Texas and Oklahoma is moving to the SEC. So, like right now, the Pac-12, the Big 10, and the SEC is probably like the only three that really, overshadow us. Obviously, what they have, but I can make a case. That we're just as good as the Big 10. I know that's a crazy take, but I'm dead serious. Yeah, you got Michigan State, you got Ohio State and Michigan, Penn State. You got those 4. I don't think all the other teams are as prominent as we are. They are maybe just in name only, but I think talent-wise, I think we're going to be just as good as the rest. But, that's 4 out of 16 teams they got up there? But I can make a case that out of all of these teams that are here, I think we got, 14 teams now? Or 12 teams now? Or something like that. Hey, man, I don't know. I'm not paying attention. Out of all the teams we have, I think probably about 80% of our teams are good in the Sun Belt. I mean, outside of, you can push by the wayside of Texas State here and ULM there, and but the rest of the teams are highly competitive. Just the level of talent is not there. So I mean, we're not even going to talk about the quality of football. I mean, because the quality of football in the Sun Belt is just very, 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 very good. Maybe that Big Ten thing was a little bit of a stretch. Maybe just a little bit. Big 12, especially after Oklahoma and Texas leave, I think we'll be better than them easily. But nevertheless, I don't want to go down there. I mean, I think I said my piece. I think this is going to be really good. I think we're going to have a really good time next year. These teams come in and play in this conference. I think this is going to be really fun. But I'm still sticking by those 8 wins, Coach Helton, Jared Benko. Let's do this. We can get 8 wins out of this. I think we could beat all 3. I think we could beat all 4 of these teams if we play them next year. I think next year obviously in the East, we're probably going to be playing the Herd. We're going to be playing Old Dominion and James Madison. I think we can get those guys. They're year 1 coming into the conference. Louisiana had a little, tough time with the Herd, but they ended up beating them. I think with the talent we have, I think we'll be all right. It's going to be interesting to see. Well, that concludes the rest of this episode. I mean, if you guys like this information, if you like this content, give me a 5-star, 4-star rating on that star chart over there on the podcast side. Subscribe to the podcast. Also, if you want to give me a like button on the YouTube or Rumble side of things, go ahead and do that. Subscribe to the channel. Help this channel grow. And if you really want to donate, if you really feel it in your heart to donate, the links are down in the description. You hit the Cash App or the Anchor link. Either one that helps grow the channel. It helps grow the content and make this content better. I really, really appreciate you guys for taking the time out and listening for the past 20 plus minutes. I will see you guys on the next one. We will be back here tomorrow, 9 a.m. sharp, where you guys can get some more content, whether it be Georgia Southern or Atlanta Falcons football. All right, y'all. Y'all be blessed. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Monday. You guys take it easy. Peace.